Alright, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about my process of reading a book from start to end. Today, for example purposes, I have Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. So, the first thing I do, which is step number one, is I usually, when I pick up a book, I will read the cover front and back, and then I would read the intro, and I would go through the index to just read the chapter names and see which chapter catches my attention, and that's the first level of reading, right? And then I would quickly go through the chapters, individual chapters, and the subheads in the chapter, right? So chapter one and then subhead in chapter one, and if there are bullet points, I would just quickly skim through those. So it's basically a speed read, a quick speed read, which usually takes about 10 minutes. And at the end of the chapter, there's usually a summary, so I would read the summary, and I would always keep a marker handy and some sticky notes. So if I come across a point that I feel like, hey, I want to revisit the point, so I would quickly highlight the point. Like, I don't know if you could see that, but I have a lot of highlights here, and then I would paste a sticky note here, so it makes it easy for me to go back to that particular page, right? And if I come across a quote that I like and I want to reference in the future, then while I highlight it, right next to it I write a Q, which says, or which tells me that, hey, that's a quote and I want to refer back to it, right? So that's the first level of reading. A quick read for 10 minutes where you just read the front and back cover, and then the summary of each chapter along with the titles, the subheads. So once I'm done with that, the second step is to now go back to read, and this is a detailed reading. So in the first quick skim read, I have marked out all the areas, I have highlighted all the chapters or paragraphs that I want to revisit, and I could easily go back to them because I have the sticky notes right here, right? So I would then go back to each individual highlight and read that. And this time I'm not really looking at speed reading, but the goal of now the goal while I'm reading this is to really understand the information, right? Because eventually that's what's the goal of reading a book, is to get some ideas, tools and strategies, right? So this time I would spend as much time as I need to understand the concept. And I say take as much time because if you've highlighted something, it's an indicator that, hey, you felt that the information in that section was important, right? So why would you just want to speed read and forget about it and move on to the next book? The whole idea is to retain the information, right? And that's what the aim is when I read a book, to retain as much information as I can so I can recall the information when the need be. Right? If I read the book today and if I need this information 2 years down the line but I can't recall, it was time wasted, right? So I would now go back to all the highlighted portions and read them at leisure. Take as much time as you want. And what I generally like doing is I like keeping a notebook handy. So let's say that I read all the highlighted portion in chapter number 1. So then before moving to chapter number 2, I would take my notes out and I would write a summary of what I understood, right? So a quick summary of what I understood in that chapter. Once I do that, it just, let me show you an example, right? So here, so this is from one of the books that I read recently, right? So this is from Blue Ocean Strategy. So after I complete each chapter, in summary, I wrote a quick summary of what I understood. It, apart from helping you go deeper into the idea, also helps you articulate the whole idea you learned in your own words, right? So that's what I would do at the end of each chapter. So this is the process that you want to repeat. This is step number 2. Go through the highlights of each chapter, take the time to understand the information, and then get your notes out and write a quick summary, right? So that's step number 2. And take as much time as you want. Again, the goal behind this is to retain the information. That's the key. So once you complete that, once you do that, you move on to the next step, which is, by this point you must have read through all the highlights, which basically means you've read through the entire book, right? And once you've done that, you have the summaries of all the chapters written here in your notes, once you've done that, you now want to assign a keyword, right? A keyword that basically brings out the gist of the summary, right? For example, let's say that there was a topic where Jordan talks about hierarchy, right? And you have a summary about the hierarchy and how the hierarchy exists in the society, right? So then for the entire summary, I would just use the word hierarchy, right? That's the keyword. So when I think about the word keyword, it reminds me what exactly was in that chapter, right? So that's the whole idea behind keywords, and we use keywords to basically go to the next step, which is to create the mind map. So I would add a keyword for each summary, right? Sometimes you could just use the chapter names if that helps you recall the whole information, right? That's the easiest way to go about it. But in certain cases, right, the authors could relate to the chapter names because that's how they designed the chapter. But for us, it's better if we come up with our own keywords that define what information was in the chapter. So either you could just use the chapter name or come up with your own keywords. And once you have your keywords written, the next thing you want to do is draw a mind map, right? So typically something like this, I don't know if you could see this, but that's sort of a mind map that you want to draw that basically helps you visualize the information. And it's sort of what was in the book, the main big idea, and then the sub ideas through the main big ideas, right? Once you draw the mind map, it just is a better way to visualize information and to retain information and store information in your mind. There's a lot of great mind map apps if you like doing that, but I like to do it by hand, and for some reason it helps me retain the information better than actually using an app for it, right? So once I complete this step, I go to the next step, which is now sit back and revisit the entire summary, right? So I will just try and create vivid images for all the keywords I have. I connect multiple keywords to that, and I also just create vivid images for the whole mind map. For example, with the big idea, and then connect those big ideas with vivid images to the sub ideas. So this way, when I think of the book, the picture of the mind map is clearly visible inside my mind, and then I could recall the information and the big idea, right? So again, that's a memory training technique, and you could find a lot of great videos about it, and I will talk about this in detail in another video, right? And once I do that, the next step is, because sometimes I want the information handy and I cannot carry the diary with me, and I have a lot of these diaries. So if I cannot, I still need the information, so I use Evernote. I take pictures of the summaries, the mind map, and I create a new note by the name of the book, and save these pictures in that note on the Evernote app. You can use any app that you like to store information. Use your favorite app, but store the information there. And that's basically the reading process. Doing and following these steps is really helped me retain the information and recall the information when the need be. Right? That's the whole key behind reading the book and the whole idea behind reading. So yeah, that's my process of reading. I hope it helps, and as always, use what resonates with you, use what works for you, and discard what doesn't work for you. I hope this video was helpful. I will be back with another video, and make sure to hit the subscribe button.